Leo and Aurea, A Tale of Two Leaders. Long ago, in a vast and vibrant forest, animals of every kind lived together in peace. The trees stood tall like guardians, the meadows shimmered with flowers, and every little stream giggled as it flowed. To the animals, the forest wasn't just a home, it was a family. And like every family, it had protectors. On the highest hill lived Lion King Leo, strong and fearless. His fiery mane glowed like the setting sun, and when he walked, the ground trembled ever so slightly. Every day he patrolled the land to make sure no danger threatened his people. His voice was as loud as thunder, and sometimes it frightened the smaller animals. But deep down, everyone knew. As long as Leo was there, they were safe. High above in the sky ruled Queen Aurea the eagle, graceful and wise. When she spread her wings, they were wide as clouds, shimmering with golden light. Though her gaze was sharp, her heart was gentle. She guided every bird according to their gifts. The high flyers watched the skies, the sweet singers carried messages, and the strong-winged guarded their nests. She believed that no creature was ever too small to matter. Under Leo's strength and Aurea's wisdom, the forest lived in perfect balance. But one fateful summer, something changed. The rain stopped. At first it was only a few dry days. The stream trickled into silence. The riverbeds cracked. Grass turned brittle beneath their paws. Animals who once woke with joy now woke with worry. Instead of gathering food, they lined up at the riverbank, waiting for just one sip of muddy water. Little rabbits drooped their ears. Young deer blinked dry eyes. Even the noisy monkeys and squirrels stayed quiet. Leo watched them all, his heart heavy. He had to make a decision. He stood tall and declared, "From this day on, ground animals drink first. Those who live in the sky must wait their turn." He didn't speak in anger, he spoke in protection. He believed the birds could still fly farther to find water, while those on the ground would collapse if they had to travel too far. But not everyone agreed. Queen Aurea arrived with her flock, hoping to reason with Leo. She landed gracefully by the puddle and spoke calmly. "Even we have young ones, and the hurt who cannot fly far." Leo's tail lashed once. His eyes were hard, but not cruel. "This water is all we have left," he growled. "It must go to the ground first." Aurea didn't shout, she didn't argue, but her silence was louder than any words. That evening, whispers spread through the forest. "Leo is right. Without rules, we'll all die," muttered the boars. "But it's unfair." "Why must the sky always wait?" chirped the sparrows. And for the first time, the forest felt divided. The days grew hotter. The earth cracked beneath their paws and claws. The wind felt like fire on their fur and feathers. And the anger in the forest grew just as dry. Animals spoke in hushed voices. Some glared upward, some looked down in shame. Even the smallest creatures could feel it. The forest was no longer one family. One evening, while the sky glowed orange with heat, a young sparrow could no longer endure her thirst. She waited until Lion King Leo and his guards had left the riverbank for patrol. Then, heart-pounding, she glided silently down from the sky. She landed by the murky puddle. Her beak trembled. "Just one sip," she thought. She dipped her beak into the muddy water. It tasted sweeter than honey, warmer than sunlight. It was hope. She leaned forward to take another sip. Who allowed you to drink from the water source? A shadow flashed before her. It was Blaze the leopard, Leo's fierce lieutenant. He landed with a thud that shook the dirt, blocking her path. His muscles were tense, his eyes piercing. The sparrow froze, her wings stiffened. I was just too thirsty, she whispered. The riverbank fell silent. Even the wind held its breath. Then, whoosh! A huge shadow swooped down from above like a shooting star. Queen Aurea landed between them, her wings spread wide, shielding the tiny sparrow. The firelight reflected off her feathers, making her glow like a golden shield. She drank a single drop, Aurea said calmly. Rules are rules, Blaze growled. Aurea didn't raise her voice, but her words cut through the tension like a blade. If a rule forces a child to suffer in secret, is that rule truly fair? Before anyone could answer, heavy footsteps echoed in the distance. The crowd parted as Lion King Leo arrived, his mane glowing like fire in the twilight. He looked at Blaze, at the sparrow, at Aurea. His voice was steady but sharp as stone. You know the rule. Aurea met his gaze without fear. I do, and I know you made it to protect the weak. She stepped closer, wings still guarding the sparrow. But tell me, Leo, if a rule protects one group yet forces others to sneak and beg for survival, is it justice? Or is it blindness? Every creature around them held its breath. Some bowed their heads, some wiped their eyes. Even Leo did not answer, because deep inside, he wasn't sure anymore. The silence on the riverbank weighed heavy, as if even the leaves dared not rustle. Then a sharp, bitter smell filled the air. Smoke. At first it was only a thin wisp, curling gently through the trees. But within moments, dark clouds of smoke rolled over the forest like a monster, swallowing the sky. A crackling roar echoed in the distance, branches snapping, flames devouring dry grass. A wildfire had begun. The animals froze, their eyes wide. Then panic exploded. Fire! Cried the monkeys. Run! Squealed the rabbits. Where do we go? Bleated the deer, trembling so hard their legs shook. Queen Aurea shot into the air, scanning the danger from above. From the east, a wall of fire rushed toward them. And from the west, sparks carried by the wind were starting another blaze. This was no small fire. This was a disaster ready to devour the entire forest. Aurea's first instinct was to turn and lead her birds away. She could save her flock, she could get them far, far from danger. But as she swooped lower, she saw them, the tiny ones still stuck at the riverbank, rabbits clutching each other, a hedgehog shielding his younger brother. Even Leo, his mane flickering in the firelight, still standing firm. Her wings hesitated. He wouldn't even share water. Why should I help him? The thought appeared, but only for a heartbeat. Then she let out a powerful cry. All birds to the sky, guide the ground animals north, now! Leo roared from the ground. Ground animals, follow me west. There's a rocky cave we can hide in. His voice thundered like a drumbeat, and many animals rushed after him. But Aurea cried again from above. There's fire in the west. Head north to the river valley. The lowlands will stop the flames. Some animals skidded to a halt. A monkey tugged a hedgehog and ran north. A group of deer stopped mid-run and turned toward Aurea's voice. Leo paused mid-stride. He turned and saw animals, his animals, leaving him. For the first time his heart burned with something he had never felt before. Not heat, but doubt. I am their king. Why won't they follow me? He gritted his teeth. No, my path is right. I will not turn back. He pressed forward into the smoke, leading those who still believed in him. But as they climbed the hill, flames flickered ahead, blocking the path. A bear gasped, panting hard. King, are you sure this is safe? Leo didn't answer, because for the first time, he wasn't sure. They reached the hilltop, and Leo's heart dropped. The other side was already engulfed in fire. Flames roared like a dragon, spitting sparks and heat so fierce that even the rocks glowed. There was no way forward. Animals gasped. A young rabbit began to cry. A monkey hugged a hedgehog tightly. Leo stood at the front, claws digging into the earth. He wanted to roar for silence, for strength. But no sound came out, for he understood. He had led them wrong. And worse, his pride had trapped them. He looked up through the smoke, searching, and there she was, Aurea, circling above like a single star in a burning sky. And for the first time in his life, Leo whispered, I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. I must ask for her help. Leo whispered the words he had never spoken before. His pride loosened like a chain finally breaking. And at that very moment, a powerful gust of wind swept past him. Queen Aurea dove through the smoke and landed in front of him. The firelight flashed across her feathers, making her look like a warrior cloaked in gold. But her eyes were not angry, not blaming, only determined. Leo, she said calmly, we need you. She stood tall, wings spread wide. I've brought another group of animals north, but a fallen tree blocks our path. I can guide them, but I cannot move it alone. She met his eyes. You and your strength are the only ones who can. Leo's claws trembled. He looked behind him at the trembling rabbits, the crying fawns, the frightened monkeys. He looked ahead at the roaring wall of fire. Then, without hesitation, he spoke. Take me there. Aurea nodded once, then shot into the sky. And for the first time, lion and eagle moved as one. Together they raced through the burning forest. At Leo's side ran Talon the elephant, his heavy steps like drums of thunder. Bruno the bear, his fur singed, but his spirit unbroken. Buffaloes and camels, silent and strong, charged forward like an army. They reached the fallen tree where the animals Aurea had led were cowering in fear. No time for speeches. Talon! Bruno! With me! Leo roared. The lion pressed his shoulder against the thick trunk. The elephant lowered his head. The bear dug in his claws. 1, 2, push! Crack! The tree shook but held firm. 1, 2, push! Thud! With a final thunderous crash, the fallen tree rolled aside. The path was open. Cheers erupted. We're free! Run! Go! Led by Leo on the ground and Aurea in the sky, the entire forest fled together. One herd, one flock, one family. The fire roared behind them like an angry beast, but no matter how it chased, it could not catch them now. They burst out of the burning woods and tumbled onto a green hillside, untouched by flames. They collapsed in exhaustion. Some cried, some laughed, some hugged each other for the first time. Leo and Aurea stood side by side, watching the burning forest in silence. Then, plop! A single raindrop fell on Leo's mane. Plop, plop! Then came another and another. Within seconds, rain poured from the sky, washing away ash and fear alike. The rabbits laughed. The deer lifted their heads to the clouds. The monkeys rolled in the mud. The birds spread their wings and let the rain soak through their feathers. Leo closed his eyes and breathed in deeply. When he opened them again, Aurea was beside him, not above, not apart, but equal. She smiled softly. Without you, we wouldn't have survived. Leo paused, then bowed his head slightly. Without you, we wouldn't have found the way. The rain kept falling, washing away pride, washing away division, and watering the soil for something new to grow. From that day forward, the forest had no sky clan or ground clan, only one forest. Leo still patrolled with strength, but now his roars carried warmth. Aurea still led with wisdom, but now she shared her burden with others. And the story of that fiery day was told for generations. Some said it taught courage, some said it taught forgiveness. But most believed. A true leader is not the one who walks ahead of everyone, but the one who reaches back and guides everyone forward. Together, the end. Thank you for watching Leo and Aurea, A Tale of Two Leaders. Don't forget to subscribe for more gentle bedtime stories. Good night, little ones.